My Experience by the Soulless King. It was around 2009 in a city named Dhaka, at a place known as Gureria, the smallest out of 9, a very quiet and rural place due to the small population. I was about 9 years old, attending a school not too far from home. But traveling there was difficult because it was summer, and believe me, the weather was as hot as a frying pan. It were as if the sun was draining the energy from my body, it escaping in the form of sweat. With the liquid dropping down my forehead, I carried on just like usual. It was just another day. This wasn't anything out of the ordinary. It was like this every summer. What a pain, I said to myself while trampling the grass beneath my feet. I wore a red shirt and blue trousers. Everything expected of a pupil. That's what everyone had to wear. I still remember what it was like walking to school, all while the wind gently pushed me back, the cool air carrying a fresh minty scent. I inhaled deeply, taking in its exotic grassy and flowery fragrance. There were gardens next to the school. Most of them were home to a flower called marigold, a beautiful golden yellow looking flower, bringing life to the surrounding vegetation. Although pretty they were very common. You could find them in almost every garden. They also had a very unique aroma, which reminded me of honey. Sometimes I looked up at the clear blue sky, observing the birds flying above. They were called sea eagles for obvious reasons. I could even hear them calling out to each other from time to time. When I got past the high walls which surrounded the whole school, I found myself in the presence of a massive iron gate. They used to colour it blue every year, so I was careful not to ruin the paint as I unlocked the gate. While opening the gate, an annoying high-pitched squeaking sound was produced. It sounded like a cat scratching a blackboard. When I was inside, the building towered over me, casting a shadow which engulfed mine. The tin roof shone greatly, so much so I could not gaze upon it due to the intense rays of the sun being redirected to my eyes. The old walls around the perimeter were made of cement. The school wasn't very large, so it was easy to get to my destination. The now forceful wind was pulling me back towards the walls, so I brisked up my movement towards the front door, which led me to my class. There was a water pump next to the school building where we would go to drink water during break time. The pump made the path slippery, which made it unstable for me to walk on. Therefore, I had to take an alternative path to my class. The second path that I took led me to the back of my room. The class, which had a very heavy scent of rotten leaves. The soothing mellow wind was blowing around me as I walked through the green forest. There were piles of dead leaves laying in the ground which I had to step on to get to the back door. When I got through the door, I saw one of my friends sitting on the wooden chair with his textbook open. I went towards him. "What are you reading?" I asked. Responding, he said, "I'm just revising for maths." As I sat next to him, a few of my other friends arrived inside the room. One of them was a girl who had long black hair and brown eyes. She usually never talks, not even a word. As soon as the class started and everyone opened their books, I had forgotten mine, so I had to share one with a friend, who was kind enough to help me. Let me tell you something. I absolutely hated my teachers, their senseless attitude and careless demeanour. It was as if they showed no emotion towards their students. So most of the time, I ate food in the classroom instead of learning anything. This was the day where the terrible incident happened. It was our usual lunchtime. Everyone was running towards the playground, which was at the far side of the school. It was a grassy field that had cauliflower farm at the side, which is one of the reasons we went to play there in the place. I will leave it to you to figure out why we did that. Me and 3 of my friends were walking up to the shops to purchase food. I used to buy salted biscuits and pickles, but my friends always used to get chocolate ice cream. There was a roadway right next to the shop. I was walking towards the opposite side to say hello to my other friends, who already crossed the road. I never expected what was going to happen. As I was walking, a car bolted in front of me, hitting me on the head. The noises around me started to dance away from me. A loud zinging noise was ringing inside of my ear. The force pushed me back from the car. My head was spinning like a hurricane. It felt like hundreds of scorching metal nails were slowly piercing through my skull. Everything turned blurry, my senses fading into the void. And then, nothing. Slowly coming into consciousness, I awakened gradually, opening my eyes, awaiting for my vision to sharpen and adjust to the light. I gazed at what looked like a white ceiling with an electronic brown fan stuck to it. It was giving off a cold, tender wind, which softly blowed across the whole room. The room was quite small, with a wooden desk next to where I was laying down. It was around 5 p.m. in the afternoon. I could tell because of the ever-so-red sunlight that was coming out of the window next to me and shining at my face. I could smell a strong scent of medicine and quickly realized I was laying on a hospital bed with a bandage on my head. Then it hit me. I recalled what happened to me earlier in silence, shaken by the experience. I was sent off home a few days later after my wounds had healed. It's been a long time since that incident took place, although it wounded my body and heart with anguish and despair, this was a terrifying experience. I understand the value of life, its fragility, and I've become a better person because of this experience. How this event affected my life in the future is another story for another time.